I'd like to, I'm going to call up young Nikolaous Palatsides, who is a young 13-year-old boy who actually decided that he would actually make a difference about family violence. And with the support of his family, Nikolaous raised $4,000 to assist women and their children to access BSafe, which is a coordinated personal alarm system piloted by Women's Health Goulburn North East. And he saw this as a serious issue and did something about it. And we thought that it would be good for him to come up and tell us what he's done and how he sees his problem, because in the end, young people are the future. And I think it's young people who are making a stand, and I think it's absolutely fantastic that we've got all these representatives from Benalla College and FCJ here, because young people, they're the ones that are going to turn this culture around and our community around and make a difference. So I just wanted to introduce to young Nick.
I would like all the boys and men to do something. Look around you and pick out 3 women or girls standing closest to you. Statistics tell us that at least one of these women will experience physical injury, bullying in a relationship, or violent behaviour in her lifetime. Now, hold on to that thought as I tell the story of my journey to be here today. A journey longer than the drive between Melbourne and Benalla. As a child, I have seen violent situations and even understood what family violence is. This instinct in other children often places them in harm's way when there is an abusive member of the family. In 2007, I began my journey to my talk here today. As part of my studies that year, I was reading about current events in the newspapers. Of all the articles I read, it was about a serious case of animal abuse in South America that affected me the most. Deciding to take action, I began writing letters asking for change, and I started fundraising. I hit upon the idea of running a garage sale. With some help from the local newspapers and selling all my toys and even the family Christmas decorations, I raised almost $900 for the RSPCA. It was a special time in my life when I learned of the power of doing good, and I liked it. I soon told my parents that I wanted to start my own charity, and that I wanted to be taken seriously. At great cost, they founded the Nikolaous Institute of Philanthropy. I am wearing the Nikolaous Institute's own badge today, along with the white ribbon. As a young philanthropist, I had started to learn a language of civic responsibility. When I saw the ABC's 7:30 report story on the failure of the state government to fund the BSafe personal alarm system for families under court protection from family violence, I knew I had to act. I instructed my trustees to do everything they could for the BSafe program, starting immediately with an emergency funding grant. The wonderful team at Women's Health Goulburn North East introduced me to the work of the White Ribbon Foundation. To them and White Ribbon, I offer my thanks for being here today, and now having a language and an ability to speak out about violence against women and families. Especially, it was the information provided by the White Ribbon Foundation that showed me that all men should be leaders by example to other men, no matter what age you might be. A fact of life is that children and young people like myself copy our motto of the behaviour of our peers. Usually we copy our peers. Sometimes we might even reject the poor behaviour of our peers. But how many of us think about who copies what we do and say? It is time that we all thought about who we are leading rather than who we might be following. When we know that more than 1 in 3 women who have had an intimate partner, boyfriend, husband, etc. have experienced physical or sexual violence, and often both, it is time for the men and boys to step in and say, it is not okay. Violence against women is not a women's issue. It is a men's issue. As one of my trustees, a man descended from the Wiradjuri Nation of New South Wales would say, This is men's business. Women do not ask to be attacked or hurt, nor should we think that it's the women who must leave their communities to go into hiding. Nor should we think that it's the children who must be torn away from their friends and schools because of bullies who parade as men. Shamefully, men who are abusive and violent do not respect women and will not accept the leadership of this issue from women. White Ribbon Day breaks with the past. It breaks with inaction. It breaks with the stupid belief that violence is the woman's fault. White Ribbon Day is the call for men to say no. It is not okay to belittle women. It is not okay to laugh at sexist jokes about women. They are not funny or true. It is not okay to say she is asking for it. It is not okay to think what a woman wears makes it okay to come on to her. It is not okay to think a woman means yes when she says no. It is not okay to let your mates do to other women what you would not let them do to your mother, sister, daughter, and friends. Do you want to be respected? Do you want to lead? Do you want to be a hero? The simple answer is, be a man and lead by honouring women and being an example to your mates. I do this every day in some little way. If I'm playing games online with my friends, I tell them when their jokes are not okay, or if they're making fun of women. If I'm with my baby cousins, I show them good manners, especially to their mums. If I'm coaching gymnastics, both boys and girl classes, I insist that they respect all coaches and parents. However, at all times, if I know something is wrong, I find a way to speak out about it. Change starts with me, and it starts with you.
Thank you, Nicholas. And I think profound words come from the young. And all of us who are old need to think about that, and we need to be able to take what the message that he's provided here back into our workplace, back into our community groups, back into our schools, and especially to those who we know and see that family violence is at work. We need to speak up. We need to stop being silent, and we need to act. The police are at the front line, but at that point of time, it's way too late. Things need to change much earlier than that. And so we as a community in Benalla can actually start to do that. So you coming here is a starting point. It's not a one-off, it's just a starting point. So I encourage you, continue to talk about this issue. This is a year-long, everyday issue. And continue to talk about it, continue to challenge what the things that Nicholas has said, and continue to raise a banner of respect between people. Because in the end, that's what's underneath it. If we respect each other, this problem will disappear. I can guarantee that. So thank you for coming. There is oodles of food. So please take your time, mingle, chat, talk to Nicholas, and have the food. And I want to say thank you to Rotary for putting on the tucker today. Well done. All the members of the Health and Wellbeing Action Group and the Family Violence Network for their work that's got us to this place. We've got a lot of things happening next year. Look out for some education and community development sessions that we'll be running next year. We'll actually be starting to help educate community members about how do you respond to family violence. And there's a whole range of things that we're planning for next year. Keep an eye out for it. We'll be in touch. Many thanks to you all for coming.
Marion.